parents, we are at week 18. And I am going to go ahead and start with history. This is a great song this week. It is a good, if I listened to it last night and this morning I woke up and sang it. So whenever we do it and I go through the work and I remember it, if I can remember it, that's a good thing because that doesn't come easy. So let them listen to the song. This one is a catchy one for me, so it's easy to remember. It's Tell Me About the United Nations. And it goes in 1945, after the League of Nations failed to prevent World War II. American President Roosevelt, British Prime Minister Churchill, and USSR Premier Stalin began the United Nations. So, 1945, after the League of Nations failed to prevent World War II, we've done this for American President Roosevelt, British, and I reminded the kids, and British, they have a prime minister, not a president. British Prime Minister, we've done him last week and we made a Churchill, and USSR Premier, they had a premier, Stalin with the mustache, began the United, and here are the nations. So, began the United Nations. This conjugation ending future tense for Latin, same as week 17. Future tense, remember, it's not future perfect. Remember, future. In the future, just in the future, I see a bow. Bowbespit, singular. Bimispit is band, plural. We went over it. The kids knew it really well. English, 5 kinds of nouns. Another important one that they will be using in essentials and in any type of English. So we had a little spider with the word Spido, and it stands for, so always when they hear 5 types of nouns, they should remember the word Spido. S is subject, P is possessive, like it's my possession, possessive, indirect object, N goes indirect object, then D is direct object, O from Spido is object of the preposition. So Spido, subject, possessive, indirect object, direct object, object of the preposition. The math, we continue with the geometry. Again, I've asked the kids the area of a rectangle, the area of a square, they all could remember it. This week we did the area of a triangle. It's all on the song which starts with geometry, geometry, let's learn some geometry. And so this week is the area of a triangle equals 1/2 base times height. So in the app they have this visual where they show where's the base, where's the height, and the formula. So A equals half, open parenthesis, B times H, close parenthesis. The area of a triangle equals 1/2 base times height. Central Europe was Italy, Hungary, Austria, Czechoslovakia. Go over the maps, go through the colored map so they find the places first, make sure where the mountains are and where the country's border is, and then go to the black line map and make sure that they know exactly where the countries are, because it's harder with Europe to see all the countries because there's so many countries packed into Europe. So let them trace it and make sure that both of you know where the different countries are within Europe. What else? And that, science. What is Newton's third law of motion? Again, I've asked the kids the first law of motion, second law of motion, third law of motion. They knew it very well after we've gone over the third law of motion. So what is Newton's third law of motion? Science, they always are going to repeat. Newton's third law of motion is for every action, I'm doing an action, there is an equal, so equal, and I'm going opposite. Opposite reaction. So what is Newton's third law of motion? Newton's third law of motion is for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And that is it for week 18. And I will see you next week for week 19.